Hello, 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 hello. We are Friday, January, let me look at my clock, 13th. Ooh, it's Friday the 13th, first one of the year. That's exciting. It's also episode 12. Today we're going to talk about taking a beat, self-care. What the heck does that mean? And my name's Akeisha. You're here watching or listening to the daily with Akeisha, whether you're watching on YouTube or you're over on Spotify catching the podcast version of this. This topic comes out of yesterday's kind of topic, where I believe yesterday's topic was struggling with vulnerability and waking up and noticing that I was pushing. I was pushing my business yet again and not being in flow and inspiration and um, just laying down the blocks. So I woke up, I talked about vulnerability. I was like sweating during that whole conversation. And then I was like, um, how can I stay in action yet stop pushing it? So, what do I need to do? And I had noticed that there was something in me that was like, I just need a beach day. I just need a beach day. And I'm not someone who like goes to the beach every day. I don't really enjoy swimming, but floating in the waves a little bit, like in the shallow end, and just kind of letting your mind being washed away with the wave sounds was what was kinda calling to me from, like, Monday. Obviously, I was still kinda, like, reeling over an infection, so, I was kind of advised, like, stay out of chlorine, stay out of the water for a little bit as your body, heals itself up, so we did that, but yesterday, Clayton had an osteo appointment. I, um, went to his osteo appointment with him, and then we left right away for the beach, and so we got to the beach around about 2:30, and it was amazing. The waves were so loud that you could not think for more than, like, 2 seconds on, like, any one given topic before the sounds and the energy of the wave just, like, pulled all of that out from you, and you just simply had to receive the energy of the ocean. We ran Clayton's bars at one point. We were gonna do a switch, and then we realized how, like, late it was, and we were both getting really hungry, so it was like, "Okay, we'll just, like you can do my bars another time." And if you don't know what bars are, I'll talk about them in a second. I could also, did an episode on them as well. I talked about the bars, and you can look up access consciousness bars to find more about that. But we ran his bars, and when you're running someone's bars, if there's anything you're aligned with also, you will receive whatever healing you need also in that moment. So whatever they're clearing, if you're aligned with that, it'll clear yours as well. So you're like essentially gifting and receiving bars in the same session. It's amazing. So self-care to me is something that is an interesting topic because it's something that in some regards you should be self-caring all the time. And then other regards, it's like you take these big breaks from your life. And also, I think part of self-care is building a self-care awareness where you don't have to burn out and crash and then do all your catch up. Like when I was back in Vancouver, I had built a body care, self-care kind of routine where I was getting stretched every other week. And that was part of my monthly self-care so that I didn't get injured or sore or my muscles weren't cramping the way that they normally would. Being on my feet all day, working with clients, I'm like the energy is going through both of us. And I had to learn how not to take on their energy. And so part of being stretched was a way of just like moving everything out for me. Sorry, I just hit my mic. For me. So, but a lot of people will go, 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 and then they'll crash and burn, and then they do their self care thing. So, the conversation today is kind of just, I guess, talking through what I do for self care or what I have done and what I need to bring back into my life, just because there's an awareness that it's not all the same, and I have a very, 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 very different lifestyle now than I did last year this time and years prior to that, and I think when you come from being someone who is extremely busy, working multiple jobs, um, working very physical multiple jobs, And then you go to a lifestyle where work it's like, well, when do you want to work? Really? Work is any time of the day you can sit down and plug some hours. Work is not running around. You're not juggling multiple jobs anymore. I'm going on 34 and I was gonna say 33. I'm like, I'm 33 right now. I'm going on 34 and I don't have children, so I'm not running after them. I'm not planning their schedules. I'm not planning, you know, shows anymore right now anyways. So I'm not juggling nearly as much as I am capable of, and I've spent many, many, many years doing. So that also like changes how I self-care. But it's interesting because I'm still creating, I'm still working, I'm still in that set of like building a business, which a lot of it's like mental. And so you still do need to self-care. And I'm still working out and I'm still walking a crap ton. Like when we go out, we walk a lot. And it's all on concrete. So there's just different self-care things or stressors. So for me, I think my number one thing has been all for the last like 4 years is access bars. Like if you're stressed out, if your brain is running, if you know that you're someone where your brain runs, your heart rate's up a lot, you've got little aches and pains, you're like in your head, like even if your job is like super stressful, like in your head, you're managing multiple people. Getting your bars run is one of the most relaxing ways, in my personal opinion, from my point of view, to reduce all of that and really truly receive. Now, Clayton was wearing his Whoop strap as he does all the time. There's these little trackers that you put on like your wrist or your arm. Anyways, he looked at his heart rate and he was very active all day. We were like, he worked out in the morning, then we were like playing in the waves, and then we were like biking in the evening. So we had a pretty active day. And overall, his resting heart rate was quite high. And then in the hour, maybe 45 minutes to 60 minutes of doing bars, you see a massive dip in his heart rate. And so that was really exciting to see. Like he even questioned, like, I wonder how my heart rate's gonna be after playing in the waves and then going to bars. And like you expect maybe like a little bit, like you're resting. We were just, basking in the sun resting, like moments before. But his heart rate never actually went down too much when we were just like lounging. But when we did his bars, it like plummeted. Like there's a massive dip in the sustained low heart rate, which is really cool to see. So, um, I even know like it's really important to get those like REM sleep. And I know clients who've gotten their bars run and they wear these other, devices that track things. And the device kept thinking when we were doing bars that they were getting REM sleep and that their body was recovering faster in these little bits of time. So it would prompt the person, like they would get a little notification, like, do more of this. And we would like label it as like meditation when you like put it in because he could like set like what he was doing, like activity or like meditating or reading, things like that. And so he would set it as like a meditation just because there was no other option close enough to what we were doing. So it would prompt him like, oh, you should do more meditation during the week. And like, yeah, meditation is great. But the fact that we were doing bars was really different because it thought it was getting REM sleep. It thought the body was sleeping and recovering. So it'd be like meditate and then get more sleep. So it's really cool. So all of those things create health benefits for you, right? Getting those REM sleeps, making sure you're getting that in your sleep, and then like lowering your heart rate is also when it's like really really high. We want to be able to like bring that heart rate down. So if you're constantly in a stressed out zone, or for me, I live so much of my life as a quote unquote stressed person. I like labeled myself as that. I was always told I'm always stressed out when I never actually felt stressed. I was just so hyper aware of all the things that were going on in a moment. And I was like constantly in my head rearranging the priority list of that. And figuring out the best effective way. And I wasn't stressed doing that, but people looked at it as being stressful. And then I took on that like identity of being an overwhelmed, stressed out person. And then I became extremely stressed out and overwhelmed and unable to handle a lot of things. I would just like crumble at certain points. Always got shit done though. Anyways, side note. So bars is one way that I've really learned how to understand that this getting your bars running consistently helps keep all those stressors at bay, and you start to like actually go into situations that might be stressful cases for you. And you start to change them. You start to relate to them differently. You start to not be so reactionary in those moments, which ultimately creates a better environment for you. And now the other part of like self-care is like making sure you're taking time for you. Now we can do this in so many ways. You can paint your nails, you can go and get a massage, you can go take a bath, you can, put some time to read, like making sure you have in your day and your week things that just allow you to be kind of like they're for you. Having these moments where you can just forget about everything and just focus on you. And so I've learned that, being in a partnership, being in a marriage, we tend to do, especially right now, because we don't really have like those really good friends that we just go, one offs, like, "Oh, I'm going to go have coffee with this person or I'm going to go hang with this person." We're starting to get that. For me, it's a little bit slower for that. So making sure that I was like expressing, like, I need to go to the beach and just chill the fuck out because I am pushing. And when I push, nothing gets done. And so recognizing that in myself again, and then Clayton wanted to come too, so that was great. That just having moments where we were just like in complete silence. Again, it was so hard to continue on a sentence or a conversation when the waves were so loud and so powerful where we were that you had to just stop and you just had to listen and you just had to be in the space and you just had to watch the waves and their power and their magnitude and their energy. It was brilliant. So I guess I don't know really where I'm going with this conversation, but basically just like sharing self care as it's changing. I'm not one to go get massages as my self care. I'm oftentimes like critiquing it, and it's annoying for me. I'd rather get a stretch, but no one here does what I do. So until I can like share this beautiful gift of stretch therapy and get someone interested in learning themselves and then sending them up to Arizona to get trained and then come work with me, I, you know, a massage is not nice every now and then, but anyways, just the importance of self-care and not having to burn yourself out to get there. And I feel like I might have burned myself out. I don't know. There's degrees of like burnout, but I definitely was recognizing like, okay, I'm doing my business and it's different. I don't have someone that says good job to me. I don't have someone that is like um making me clock in and clock out. I have things I can work for and then therefore get recognition if I hit those things. But in the meantime, like it's just me, myself, and my like phone or people like messaging me. But if that's not happening either, then I have really no way of navigating what is going on because it's not like customers are coming through and being like, "Oh yeah, I didn't like it. Oh yeah, this was great." Like in the service industry, well, you're so used to that like instant feedback. I don't have that right now, and I'm building that even with, like, offering bars and stretch therapy to people that I meet, like, just letting them know that these are the things that I do. It's starting to come. So I was, like, recognizing, you're 13 days at the time yesterday, you're 12 days into the year, you're, September, October, November, December, 4.5 months into being in a different country. You're 4.5 months into a completely different lifestyle. You're 4.5 months into really, like, scratch. Scratch. Everything is like you're not learning the basics of what you need to do, but you're learning how to rebuild it where you are. And that's a massive skill, like, endeavor. And I wasn't realizing and I was not aware I was blocking people kept saying, "Oh, you're so courageous for doing this. Like, I just like watching because I get to see how you're living your life and you're creating it. And it's just a really massive inspiration." Like, I would get people telling me that when I would get on calls, just to chat with friends and family and whatnot. But I would kind of dismiss it because I'm living it and I'm really trying not to be in it's weird. I don't wanna be in it because I feel like then I would, like, fail if I was, like, to succumb to, like, the magnitude of it, but now, even when I'm saying that, I'm like, "Well, no, you kinda need to be in it because you're living it." So, understand, accept, receive not accept, that's the wrong word. Receive that there is a massive transition underway, and part of that is learning how do you pick your life up from one country and move it to another and kind of build everything from scratch again, like everything. So that is a massive learning curve. And I have these amazing tools that I get to use that I've, learned over the years, m- 90% of them being access tools, how to ask questions, how to, energy pulls, how to keep my stress levels down. I have this beautiful community of people that can just run my bars if I want during the week. Utilizing that, like really pulling myself back into, Keisha, you have all these tools that you were using in a different country that were creating things for you. Now you need to really lead into those tools as you're here. You've kind of gotten the lay of the land. Now you gotta now you get to get going. So receiving that that's a massive undertake and thousands of people do it in all sorts of circumstances every single day. And some do it in circumstances that are far less secure than mine and have far less resources than I do. And they do it. And I'm not here to compare, but I'm here to say, um, do it and take care of yourself in the meantime, because knowing that you have to take care of yourself and have that self-care and take a beat and, do your foundation steps, lay the bricks, and then go enjoy life. Go enjoy life. I think that's also part of self-care that, um, isn't talked about enough is enjoyment of life. Our job here on this planet is to enjoy life. It is. Like, it is to experience this human experience, to go through the things and really enjoy and bring peace and love and unity and grace and allowance to the planet, to the people. And so while you're doing that, while you're doing everything, going and experiencing life. And I moved my ass to Mexico for some reason beyond the bigger picture of what I even see. Like the bigger overarching thing is bigger than I know. And part of that is to bask in the beauty of this beautiful country. So gorgeous. Um, so full of energy and spirit and love. It's so juicy. And to appreciate it and to just relic in the fact that every beach is open to the public. There's no private beaches. It might look like it's private, but it's not. You can go on it and pull up a coconut and drink a coconut and then get someone to slice it open and then eat the meat. Like, for one coconut, you get a drink and a meal. It's a combo. It's the best combo deal out there. And talk to the people around you. Say hi to people. See where they're from. Inspire them when they ask you, "Do you live here?" You say yes. Or, we had someone take a picture of us and they were like, "Oh, how long are you here for?" I'm like, permanently, more or less. Like, we moved everything down here. Um, and just being like, "Oh, my daughter wants to do that, but she's so scared." And we're like, "Well, tell your daughter that, if it's aligned with her and it's for her life, like, there's nothing to be scared about. There's just some work to be done." So, I don't know if I stayed on topic of self-care, but I wanted to share what was going on for me in that wholeness and the awareness I had around taking time, taking a hot second to be like, "Whoa, pause, go live life again," because I was getting caught in not doing that, in October, November, and I had to kind of seclude myself in December and reignite. myself in December, and I never wanna have to, like, reignite myself. I just wanna be, like, cruising and going and up and, down, but never those crash moments. Like, I have the tools to make this life smooth sailing, even through the bumps and the turmoil and the gross and the hard. I have the tools, I just have to use them. So, on that note, I'm gonna sign off. I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow. A very exciting episode coming up next week. Next Monday is gonna be a fun one, to talk about. I'm not gonna share any more details other than that. So if you're listening and you wanna hear some surprises coming up, tune in next week. Okay, I'll see you guys all later. If you want to support this channel, if you've got questions about my businesses, if you wanna shop the Arbonne shop, all the links on how to, uh, help me create my life, help you create your life, and support what's yet next to come, everything is in the show notes. Okay, love you all. See you later. Have a magical day. Bye.